Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen.
Okay, we're almost out of time here. I want to get to this comment. Somebody wrote in and said card with an exclamation point and put a little emoji with a halo. I saw my son benefit, then regress with a company that had trouble keeping ABA therapists 10 years ago with a junior supervisor who was unkind and not client-centered with my son and me as a mother. I lost faith in ABA until I subbed in an ABA preschool last year. The company individual leadership style of ABA is, delivery of ABA is crucial, all in capital letters. I am now an ABA therapist in that classroom, and thank you, and I'm glad that you're loving card. And then I'm going to squeeze this in. Is it normal for a 6-year-old to only want to eat French fries? He will not eat home-cooked food at home. Dr. Grand-Pichet, I know you probably have to go, but I'm going to stay on and just talk about specific carbohydrate and how our kids sometimes will orient to, although if you want to stay and talk about food selectivity, that's up to you. But I know you probably
I appreciate that, Shannon. Yeah, I have a call exactly at 11, but yeah, I'm sure you'll handle it. And I agree. It's like the SCD diet is great. And also food selectivity is something very common. And I do recommend that you change it because it can get worse.
There we go. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you so much.
Stay with us, you guys, but we're going to say goodbye to Dr. Grand-Pichet.
Bye, everyone.
Just adore you. And it was so great to have you here today.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I just want to say that I think it's a very common thing that our kids get into one specific food and a type of food, and even having it from a specific place. We have a family that we talked to that their child can only have Burger King French fries, that he can taste the difference between Burger King and McDonald's and just is not interested in having the McDonald's French fries. And so there's a couple of different things that I want to say to us all as caregivers of individuals who are on the autism spectrum. You know, we want to make sure that our kids are, first of all, safe and happy and alive, right? And sometimes we will opt for the short term because it's the thing that works. So I just want us all to give ourselves a hug for that and know that that's normal. And that's part of how we get to the point where they're like, no, I'm going to refuse everything else except French fries from this particular place. Or you could even make French fries at home and they're like, I'm not having those, right? Is because we didn't want them to starve, right? And so we fed them the thing that made them happy. It doesn't make us bad people. But at a certain point, it becomes a problem. And now we got to look at it and figure out something to do. A lot of times we'll notice that kids are eating all the same thing and it's all the same color. And it tends to be in the white, yellow category because those are carbs. For the kids that only will eat nachos or potato chips or potatoes or French fries, there was a period of time in which that's all my son would eat is chicken nuggets and French fries. That was it, right? And I was gleefully feeding them to him because at least he was eating, right? Because if I didn't give him that, he refused it. And no one here ever would advocate starving a child. This is not what this is about. But if you're working with a good ABA provider, you can start to turn this around. There are statistics about the fact that you have to present a food some crazy amount of times, like 27 times before a child will even try it. And a lot of times we're like, well, I'm not going to make green beans 27 times and throw them in the trash 27 times. But you don't have to put a whole cup of green beans on the plate. You just have to put like 2. And, you know, maybe it's that you get 2 green beans and you cook, you don't overcook them. Never overcook vegetables for young kids because it creates an acid that responds with their taste buds, right? So just barely cooked. And, you know, you put them on the plate and you don't say anything. You don't force them to eat them. You don't force them to try it. You just put them there and do it 27 times. And supposedly a magical thing happens. I don't know. The thing that I know that works for sure is that you take the thing that they love and you put just a little bit of something else with it. So for French fries, if he loves the French fries from McDonald's, you know, even if it's like, I don't know whether he has ketchup on them or not, but even to get something else, like French fries from McDonald's are hard to add things to, but you can add, like, just, you know, stick the, you know, them in a tomato sauce or something. And he may be like, no, I'm not having that. But just, I mean, like the tiniest little speck, so that you're introducing a new taste. And maybe he'll refuse. You want to make sure that he's still thriving and that he's still getting food. But what we see is that I've seen people take chocolate and spinach, and the kid loves chocolate. And so they'll make chocolate pudding and they put like the teeniest speck of spinach in it. Right. And it has to be that the kid doesn't notice. And the kid eats the chocolate pudding and you're like, okay, there was a speck of spinach in there. Then they put in a speck and a half of spinach until eventually, you know, it's half spinach and the kids eat it. And then when they put spinach differently, the kids will eat it because their taste buds have gotten used to it. Jerry Seinfeld's wife wrote a whole cookbook about how to sneak vegetables into food. Super hard if they're only going to be eating a French fry from another place, which is why I want to talk to you about the specific carbohydrate. Under the direction of a doctor, there is a diet that's called the specific carbohydrate diet, which is when you try to break their addiction to these foods. It's a rough going. There is a book, I think it's called I'm going to get it wrong. It's something about how to bust. I'll find it. I apologize. I cannot remember it. But if you Google specific carbohydrate diet, you'll probably find it. It's got the word gut in it. But it's a rough going, and I wouldn't do it without a doctor, being under a doctor's care, but it means kind of cold turkey, taking it all away. But it's not just the French fries. It's all potatoes. It's pretty much all fruit, for a period of time. You got to watch your kid very closely with the doctor, because at a certain point, you will see a change in behavior and your child will go into ketosis. We never want a child to stay in ketosis. I think it took 17 days with my child, and it was an uncomfortable 17 days. Can I just say, like, I don't even mean to laugh because I want to cry. It was a hard day because it got him free of yeast. It was rough. And there were a couple of days where, you know, I wasn't sure if he was going to eat, but as somebody said, if you stock your house with only healthy things, most kids, I don't want to say all kids, will eventually get hungry and eat things that you never knew that they would eat. They will. But for some kids who've got bigger issues, we just want to make sure that no child ever starves. Okay. I just want to say that. There are tons more questions on here, but look up specific carbohydrate. And I apologize to all of you. Oh my gosh, the number of questions we didn't get to.
Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.